How did we get into these trade deals then? I mean, it's the next logical question. Well, part of the reason that we got into these trade deals is because we have been very ideological. We have said we will use a free trade regime, and a free trade regime is the best regime in the world. In fact, after World War II, the United States and Britain led the world in creating the global economic system, and we built it around the Anglo-American model, a free trade model, where it's done by markets and hopefully minimal government intervention. The problem is that there are other viable models to run the economy in the world. There is the socialist model that you found in Europe, in which you would have some state ownership and some private ownership and a great deal of cooperation. There's the communist model, not very efficient model, but it exists. It still exists in a couple of countries, Cuba, North Korea. Then there's the Japanese model. The Japanese model is a model that is based on Germany in the 19th century, in which you will have private ownership, but you will have heavy state regulation, where the goal is not so much to advance the interest of the company, it is to advance the interest of the country. That model is now used in Japan, it is being used in China, it is being used in South Korea. It is a very successful model. The focus is not on ideology, the focus is on results. In economic terms, it's the difference between a rule-based system, ours, and a results-based system, theirs. What has happened is other countries use this model. They find themselves very productive, and our model is weak when you come head-to-head, because their governments have no qualms about blocking our products from going in there. They have no qualm whatsoever from subsidizing their industries. Macy talked a bit about that. I want to elaborate on that, and I want to use some real examples on this. This is something, as he correctly says, that Congress and most business people do not understand, but that the Europeans, Asians, and others understand perfectly. It works like this. Germany has a 19% value-added tax. It's an indirect tax. They collect the tax as the product winds its way through the cycle. So Mercedes-Benz sends a car to the United States. Let's say it's a $50,000 Mercedes-Benz. Under our trade agreements, the government of Germany subsidizes, they sent back a rebate to Mercedes-Benz of 19%. So Mercedes-Benz company, when they send a car to America or out, they get almost a $10,000 tax rebate right off the bat on that. When General Motors tries to send a Cadillac into Germany, it must pay the 19%, plus they must pay a 19% on all of the transport taxes, the insurance, etc. that goes over. So the American-based manufacturer is really at about a 40% disadvantage. One way that American manufacturers solve that, they can move to Europe or they can move to Ireland. That's why you have American manufacturers, for example, with so many major facilities inside Europe, is because they want to be inside that VAT-based area. The Japanese, on the other hand, will not really permit the American manufacturers to go into Japan to be able to compete within the Japanese market. When I was with TRW, we were in the auto parts business. We wanted to, in the aftermarket, we wanted to sell in Japan. And so we were fully prepared to establish factories there, to buy distribution networks there. The Japanese government would not let us do it. Again, this is the difference between rules and results.